Black Ops 6 Season 4 Reloaded is here, and with it comes a host of new content, changes, and more. So today, we're running down what you need to know and what's new. So drop your thoughts, drop a like, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and other FPS coverage. I'd love to have you in the community. And also, consider following over on Twitch if you want to join on these conversations live. But anyways, let's jump into it. So, for the most part, we've already covered what the content side of things here are in the reveal last week for the seasonal update. So, just as a quick breeze through refresher, we have the new maps of Fringe and Eclipse. Fringe returning from Black Ops 3, nice to see that return, and Eclipse being a new club-style strike map compatible with gunfight or face-off. Party Ops and cel-shaded variants are coming in the launch window here, so you have some minor adjustments to other maps visually, along with a small host of different game modes to play with. New weapons of the Olympia as a special weapon, so it won't cost you a primary slot or anything, and the pickaxe coming as a melee are both rewards from the Beavis and Butthead event. The SVD Full Auto mod special weapon attachment will also be coming in that same event, but the TR2 CQB auto conversion will take a bit longer to get, as it's the reward for the COD Tunes event upcoming after the Beavis and Butthead event, so in a couple of weeks' time. Zombies has the Abomination Challenge mode coming, with Starting Room coming later in the season, and events, again, the Beavis and Butthead event is live with the start of the mid-season, both free and premium tracks alongside that. But that's the content we've already discussed, and it's pretty upfront. But what about changes? So, first thing, something's probably going to break here with this update, just kind of a fact of the matter with all seasonal updates in the COD franchise the last 5 years. So while recording this, that stuff, I don't know what would have broken. Just be aware if something is broken, par for the course, and it's something that will hopefully be fixed out here in a short little bit of time. But when it comes to gameplay changes, the big stuff with Black Ops 6 is weapon changes. Now, in terms of sheer amounts of bullet points, I actually think this might be the lengthiest patch notes we've had to date within Black Ops 6. But while the full patch notes are a bit overwhelming, we can kind of simplify these a bit to a more general perspective that applies to all weapons, because they're all really for a handful of different attachments. So while it may be the most noted changes to date, impactful may be a different story. But for generalization of these changes, they mentioned their design reasoning is, our focus in Season 4 Reloaded is attachment tuning. When it comes to the attachment balance, our goal is not for every attachment to be viable on every weapon. That said, we want every attachment to have a place across the many builds and playstyles in Black Ops 6. These changes fall into two main buckets: portfolio-wide improvements to attachments that have lower usage, and targeted weapon-specific changes to enable new builds. Among the list of attachments receiving buffs across all weapons are the short barrel, lightweight foregrip, precision foregrip, fast motion laser, target laser, and combat stock. An example of a targeted change is the C9, which has had its tactical laser significantly improved. So this in a nutshell is basically just giving every attachment a fighting chance on their own merits, but still may not necessarily be the best application depending on what weapon you use or what playstyle you may adhere to. But anyways, the changes made, numbers varying across the different builds. Things like the rapid fire attachments generally saw vertical and horizontal penalty decrease, so a buff there. Recoil springs saw buffs to the vertical and horizontal improvements. The gain twist barrels generally got improved. The short barrels, you saw the jump, sprint to fire, and jump ADS speeds adjusted and improved. The ported compensator saw its vertical and first shot improvements increased. The lightweight handguard and precision handguard saw idle sway components increase, so buffing those. The ergonomic level and CQB lever saw slide to fire and dive to fire improvements. The steady aim laser saw hip fire spread improvement increase. The fast motion laser saw jump hip fire, slide hip fire, and dive hip fire all improved. Target lasers saw aim walking steadiness improvement with a slight nerf to idle sway delay. The infiltrator stock saw an ADS movement speed increase, same with the light stock, movement speed increase. The balance stock saw an ADS move speed increase and a general movement speed increase, while the combat stock rounds out our list here that saw a flinch received improvement increase. Weird wording on that, but it's a buff here to this, meaning you receive less flinch because it was improved in that sense. But anyways, the only real attribute to change to weapons in Black Ops 6 was the nail gun, increasing the ammo count from 15 to 20. So a whole lot of situational changes and a lot of stuff focused mainly around those attachments. But That's multiplayer. As for zombies, just because we don't mainly cover zombies here on this, a kind of footnote, zombies did see a number of different grief adjustments, which the changes seem to be positive, but as for Warzone, we saw a little bit of content added, but nothing crazy. The train is updated with a buy station and a UAV tower once again. Havoc Royale has finally come. Resurgence Casual is here. Ranked Play Resurgence is here, in addition to Battle Royale Ranked Play, the big map stuff. So you have both of those living simultaneously, and it's just now up to you what you want to play, if any of them at all. As for gameplay adjustments, though, there are more compared to like Black Ops 6. Really didn't have many gameplay adjustments versus weapon tuning. But the gameplay adjustments, we saw that Season 4 weapons are now in the ground loot. The care package kill streak is in Battle Royale and can now include the specialist bonus, hand cannon, bunker buster, armor satchel, self-revive, door barricade, ammunition box, or armor box. The lootable perk pool was updated for Resurgence and Plunder. That's still not in Battle Royale, so don't worry. We saw some adjustments to contracts in Battle Royale, where the most wanted spawns after Zone 1 now. The contract reveal timings are altered for bomb plant, supply run, and most wanted bounties, and no new contracts will spawn after the 4th circle ends. So this might make late game regains a little bit tougher, but we'll have to see how that plays out in practice. Loot Master as a perk now comes to Resurgence and Plunder, just basically giving you more cash that you can end up acquiring out of those. Reactive Armor now regens armor up to full armor over 35 seconds. Tracker received a significant nerf where it reduced the total markings from targets from 5 to 1, and the close, mid, and long range durations were all adjusted. Close being decreased by nearly 3 seconds, mid-range being decreased by 4 seconds, and long range being decreased by 4.5 seconds. Grenadier is now deployed faster, and health regen delay from explosives is reduced to 3 seconds. Bomb Squad's damage reduction now applies to self-inflicted damage and reduction of 45% for those explosives. Restock's equipment regen time was increased from 50 seconds to 60 seconds, so a slight nerf there. Scavenger saw a decrease in cash drop yield from 1,500 cash to 1,000, and Reflex saw increases to the explosive delay time by 0.1 seconds, so a very slight buff to that one. Now, weapon tuning is where this all comes back to again and kind of rounds out our patch notes here for this seasonal update. But when we talk about this, again, consider that all of these changes we talked about in Black Ops 6's segment, more generalized and varying depending on the weapon attached to, but that all of those attachments are going to have their effects carrying over to Warzone as well. So to save the monotony of explaining all of that again, those changes are in effect, but in addition to that, we also saw base weapon tuning for a handful of different weapons. The Krig was the only weapon from Black Ops 6 that actually saw some weapon tuning at its core, but it saw nerfed the damage ranges while also decreasing extremity multipliers and mobility attributes, while slightly tampering a bit with the bullet velocity and flinch resistance. Personally speaking, I don't think this is enough to knock it out of the meta, but it's an attempt at rebalancing somewhat. We'll see in a day, probably like 3 max, if it is something that is still the meta, but we'll have to wait and see. Then we saw a bunch of different Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 weapons actually being adjusted to make them a bit more viable in competition. Modern Warfare 3 weapons of the MCW, STG, and M13B all had buffs to the damage and range values, -1 minimum damage range nerf to the MCW. The MW2 M4 also saw a buff to the Jack Harbinger kit, but not the base weapon. The Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 SMGs, the AMR9 Striker, BAS-P, Lockman Shroud, Vaznev, and Vel all got buffs as well. The Reclaimer and KV Broadside got buffs. The Bruins Jack Shadow Kit got a buff. The MCW 6.8 got a buff on the full auto conversion. The Victus for snipers was the sort of headline here, where it brought its one-shot range out to infinite, but also the bullet velocity was gutted, so it's going to be an interesting one to see how that plays in practice. But other snipers, the Cat AMR, Moors, FJX Imperium, MCP R300, and the Victus were all buffed, generally speaking. So that's your weapon tuning and update for Warzone, and just about rounds out these Season 4 Reloaded updates for all the content here you can expect to jump into. So that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is there anything in particular that you guys liked out of what was listed for Season 4 Reloaded? Disliked it? Whatever the case, let me know. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 6 and other FPS content I'd love to have in the community. For now, though, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.